This is Andi Purewal, Boxing Social in association with BOXXER. I'm joined by Ben Shalom, not necessarily in the immediate aftermath because everything's been packed away now, but soon after the official weigh-in for Khan-Brook. Both guys made weight. Ben, talk to me about what you thought seeing them both on the scales.
I thought it was unbelievable. I thought I knew Kel was going to look good. I didn't know that good. He's had 6 months. We knew 149 was not going to be a problem. He knew it. Dom knew it. His nutritionist Greg, he's been with every single day for the past 4 or 5 months, not been let out of sight, and it shows. And he looks happy and he looks healthy. I think we've seen Kel before, and he's looked gaunt. You could see in his face he had energy. He loved it in front of the crowd. And it's just so exciting now because both guys look great. Both guys have done everything they can. And the crowd was here to see it as well.
What did you make of them on the scales in terms of with Kel? Because there's a lot of talk whether or not he might come in slightly over. So was you surprised that he did just come in just underneath 149, or was you maybe expecting him to make advantage of that and pay whatever the fine would have been?
Kel is the ultimate professional, or at least has been for this fight. I don't think he was going to leave it to chance. I don't think he felt like he needed to leave it to chance. He felt healthy. They weren't going to do anything or agree to anything that he wasn't healthy with. And he's come in and he's fine with the weight. He's absolutely flying. His energy levels are good. They'll go back now. He'll refuel. He'll be bigger on the night, as will Amir. You know, Amir's back. Everything, you can see that he's got room to grow as well. I think he was way under. So both lads have done really well, and this is the fight that we wanted. And we saw today, as much as it was Amir Khan heavy, there was a lot of respect and appreciation for Kel. The noise when he came out as well. I think people are excited that Kel looks so good. You know, because they want a good fight, and they, as much as, you know, you have Amir Khan fans and you have Brook fans, a lot of these guys, you know, a lot of the lads, they know each other and they respect both of them. You've got guys from Sheffield that supporting Amir, you've got guys from Manchester and Bolton that like Kel, and everyone was just so glad to see two guys coming in peak physical condition ahead of tomorrow night.
Just to kind of stick with the weight, Ben, to go back to something we spoke about yesterday, was the rehydration clause, or what people assumed was a rehydration clause. Now, there seems to be some confusion as to whether there is or not. I've had a lot of people tweeting me, asking me to kind of follow up on it. So can you just confirm or deny whether there is or is not one to be in place for tomorrow for the fighters?
No, this was a weight they had to make. This was the weight that was contracted. This is the weight that was always talked about. This is where the fines are in play. They had to make 149 today. They've made it, and they can put on weight now, and they can enjoy it. There'll always be weights to check where people are at, but there's no penalties. They're ready to go, and we're going to see an amazing fight now. And 149 was really what mattered for me. I was worried when Kel was sort of joking, because I've been speaking to them for a few weeks now. They said, "Do not worry, Ben. You know, there's financial penalties, not just for them, but for me on that one." And he said, "Do not worry." Then two hours before, Greg's calling me up saying, "Look, we're 3 pounds over. We're healthy though. We can't do anything unhealthy." And I'm sat up there thinking, Jesus. But no, they stuck to their word. They made the weight, and now we have the fight that we wanted to see.
So we can confirm now and end all talk of any form of a rehydration clause.
Correct.
Thank you, Ben. Just going into tomorrow night, obviously you saw this raucous atmosphere today with all the fans that turned up. How much more does that whet your appetite? Because as we've said earlier this week, it's the biggest fight you've been involved in so far. It's one which fans have wanted for a decade now. To be here, to be promoting it, Ben, how much is it wetting your lips? How much does it whet the appetite?
It's just unbelievable. I am from Manchester. I'd lived round the corner for so long, and Khan-Brook was a fight I dreamt about watching as a fan. I know both guys really well, which I think helps me able to put on the fight. Amir had worked for us in the past when we were just starting and doing tournaments and finding our way. He was amazing, and he was always unbelievably supportive. And so to be able to get in position, and we had 6 months, we were desperate to make this fight. It was a grueling 6 months. We thought we had it made in the summer of last year. We then thought we had it made in October again, but I think it's fallen perfectly. There's no other, the heavyweights are going to fight in April and May, and this month is dedicated to Khan-Brook, and it needed this, and it needed to be at the iconic Manchester Arena where we've grown up. You know, I've grown up going to fights, sat right at the very top. You know, I remember the Crawler nights, I remember the Hatton nights, sat at the top, and now we get to promote probably the biggest British fight since perhaps Froch Groves. I don't know, but it feels like it, and it feels like everyone is looking forward to it now.
Final one, Ben. For yourself, what are you expecting to see tomorrow night when they are finally in the ring, staring across from each other, just before you hear the final bell? The first bell, rather.
I expect Amir to be pretty measured. I mean, he's wanted a bigger ring. We've agreed on a 22-foot ring, which is perfect in the middle. Both guys are happy. I think Amir's going to try and use his experience and use his legs and use his technique and probably try and stay at distance, and Kelly's going to want to get after him. And I think the first few rounds, Amir could look very good and nick a first couple, but as it goes on, we know, especially Kel looking like this, he's going to get his moments and he's going to be able to get at him. It's really hard to call. No one really knows. The emotion's high. I think we've seen Amir get in fights that he doesn't need to in the past. Will he in this one, especially with the history and the bitterness that's being shown between two fighters? But Kel has also got to keep his head, and I think today he did. I don't think he has so far, but I think he's calmed down now. He's relaxed, and it just makes for a fascinating fight tomorrow.
Right, Ben, I can see how excited you are to talk about it, but I'm sure you've still got a bit more work to do before tomorrow night comes about, so I'm going to leave you now to go and crack on with that. It's a pleasure to talk to you as always, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Thank you for speaking to me in Boxing Social.
Thank you, top man.